Welcome back, Competitive Heroes community, to our second semi-finals match between, this time it's going to be Sepha versus Symbiosis. Same map, same two factions, Austria versus Soviets, but two new players. Who do you guys at home think's gonna win? Who do you think? I have no clue. I don't know the results of these matches, the finals, or any of these matches that was played on day 3 of the Frontline Network Competitive Heroes 2 World Championship. I hope you guys are psyched. We broke 1,000 viewers. That's really, really cool. Please follow this channel. If we break 1,000 followers, we can have a conversation with Twitch TV, get a partnership, get the transcodes enabled so you can choose your resolution. I see quite a few people in the chat having trouble with lag, etc., etc. Try to change the regional hubs. Our moderators are really nice, and they can help you out by giving you some URLs in the chat. Also, scroll down on the Twitch page you're looking at right now. Down there, you'll see quite a lot of pictures and quite a lot of text. Take just a minute between games and check that out, especially the community part. We need the Competitive Heroes community to grow. Grow. So check out all the streamers there. Check out all of the event guys and the Competitive Heroes fan sites. Go over there, register on the forums, follow all of the channels, follow the streamer guys. They're all really cool guys. If you are a shoutcaster for Competitive Heroes 1 or Competitive Heroes 2, please do let us know. Send a PM to us on Twitch or on YouTube, and we will add you to that list. But now we're going to go into the second semi-final series between Sepha and Symbiosis, and with me as my co-host is good old Sarge. What's up, Sarge?
Hey dude, I'm really excited to see how this game goes down. Much like Army Polizei Funk, I have myself a Sepha soft spot. You've got to support your fellow British gamers, and I'm really hoping Sepha's going to do a number on Symbiosis here. I know I shouldn't be biased, but what can I say?
Oh, so you're biased over to the Sepha way. I think I have a little bit of a more personal relationship with Symbiosis, so I'm going to take and root on him. But we're actually going to watch them differently, because I will be following Sepha as the Axis, while you will be following the Soviet player Symbiosis, at least for this game 1. So if you're ready to go, Tommy and Sarge, at 5 seconds.
Yep, ready to go.
We'll unpause the game in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's going to be extremely interesting, because a lot of people right now think that the Soviets are very, very good. They are kind of OP. It's very easy to win with the Soviets. Do this and do that, get some entries, etc., etc., and you got the game in the bag. But we just saw Aimstrong pull out a kind of good counter to the M3, a very large tier 1 build, and he got a lot of grants, he kept them together, etc., and he countered that. So it is completely possible, especially also against an equal opponent, to win as both factions. You just gotta play that bit better. What do you think, Sarge?
I just think this is the most interesting time of the game, because we are seeing all these brand new strategies, this brand new metagame start to take shape. It's just fascinating to watch.
Yeah, metagame evolving in both VCOPs and Competitive Heroes 2 is the thing that I find the most interesting, actually. I really love how people just create their own playstyle. They do their own build orders, they know what they want to do, they play differently, and everything can work as long as you just put your mind to it. You just gotta keep on the ball, keep on top of your micro, and you can actually win as both factions. It has been proven right now in the series between Aimstrong and Marcus, and obviously Aimstrong just came out on top.
I'll tell you one thing I'm really interested to see as well is ability usage. Aimstrong was just absolutely maximizing every single unit's abilities. He was using abilities left, right, and center all over the map, all over the shop, and that's potentially a game changer.
Yep, we do have the fuel actually capped for Sepha in the north, but the Combat Engineer is gonna nick the building right here, so he's going to force off these Pyos and most likely the MG as well. They cannot stay there for a prolonged engagement, especially not as conscripts are coming in now from Symbiosis as well. So he started out with 2 conscripts, nothing unusual right there. We did actually have an MG start from Sepha. He's following it up with 2 grants.
Yeah, the standard conscript heavy build is it seems to be like a firm community favorite start. Gives you a lot of flexibility as well in the early game, maximizes your capping power. You've got the Ura flank ability, you've got light AT, you've got mollies. It gives you a chance to kind of sense out the battle and decide which way you want to run your tech.
Yeah, they're a little bit weaker than the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers actually have superior armor, I believe, to 1.5 armor class instead of the conscript that has just a solid 1 armor class. So they're a little bit more weaker, but at the same time, they're 6 men compared to 4 men, so I think it equalizes quite a bit.
And what I found really interesting, as I understand it, there isn't a great deal of difference in the ranged combat. There's no distinct advantage between getting one closer than the other in any scenario.
Yeah, it's supposed to not be that massive like it was, you know, the Volt Grenadiers versus rifle dynamic from Vico, which was very different, you know, rifles being better at close range and Volts being better at long range, etc., etc. So there is a big difference between Vico and Company of Heroes 2, being that I think that close and long range combat can go kinda either way, actually. But then you have to factor in grenades, etc. So sometimes people want to get close because they want to throw a Molotov or they want to use a rifle nade, so they want to stay at range. So there's still a dynamic to long and short range.
Interesting move by Sepha now. He's really pushed his forces into the middle. 2 Grenadiers and the MG as well. Conscripts are in the house, so they're well defended at the moment.
Yeah, that's going to cost him the territories up in the north, however. He's losing the fuel and losing the VP, and right now, Symbiosis is actually in control of 2 out of 3, and soon going to put on a triple cap on the VPs against Sepha. So Sepha will start bleeding VPs very, very quickly. He's pretty close to the one in the center bottom, though, so he's going to stop the bleed a little bit, and at the same time, he's sending his second MG up north to stop these conscripts. They might get the cap, they might get pinned, he's going to get the cap.
Check this out. We have 3 conscripts and then a second engineer and T1 up. So not the standard 4 conscript build.
No, he's gonna go 3 conscript tier 1, and he's already invested his initial 60 munitions into a flamethrower, I see. So no Molotovs, nothing else used like that. I don't see any mines placed either. So the first munitions into a flamer, most likely going to hop into that very, very useful M3 half-track. M3 scout car, not a half-track, it's a scout car.
It's a scout car, and you're absolutely right. That's about 3/4 built and will be hitting the field very soon.
Yep, it's nothing unusual to get at least that one M3. It's very, very common. It can be very, very, very powerful. But as Peter said in the last cast that he and Tommy did, you still gotta give it some support, because if you get out-blobbed or outnumbered by just pure Grenadiers and an MG, for example, that M3 is gonna go down real quick.
And Sepha's got a really nice early grasp on the map there. Cut himself slash across the entire map. He's had, you know, a bit of toing and froing on the fuel front, but it seems like he's establishing pretty good control right now.
He's trying to reclaim the southern fuel there to get a better fuel income. Right now his tier 2 building is up and the first vehicle has hit the field. A scout car is producing, and he's already seeing that M3 with his Grenadiers and the MG up north here. So he's going to send his scout car right up there, and his first 60 munitions, I believe, went into the upgun. So he's going to go hunting for that light vehicle, the M3.
And that MG was in real trouble there, getting roasted inside of the house. All with mines being placed, but the scout car arrives just a little bit too early for that to be properly effective, and that M3 is now in big, big, big trouble.
Yeah, the M3 is trying to back out, but that armored car basically cut off his retreat path, and the flamers are very, very low health. They get caught between the carcass of the M3 and some trees, and they're actually gonna try and run the gauntlet past 2 Grenadiers. That armored car, are they gonna... Oh, they explode from the trees! The flamethrower tank crit, and the guy blows up and burns up.
Oh, and that's a pretty heavy loss for Symbiosis to deal with. He's, you know, his impact unit had 0 impact at all, and he lost his flamer as well.
MG in the south gonna try to stop the cap from these conscripts on the VP, but at the same time a nice flank from Symbiosis is coming in, so that MG is going to be forced to retreat. But a nice early win for Sepha to actually destroy that M3 from Symbiosis before it did too much damage.
Yeah, and I'll be really interested to see where Sepha goes tech-wise next. Any idea what's coming?
Sepha right now, he's in tier 2, he hasn't teched anything else, and right now he's actually not producing anything at all. He does have both fuels in his possession right now, so his fuel bank is growing a bit, but right now he's not deciding to build that half-track, which is very common usually nowadays in the current Company of Heroes 2 metagame, to get that Flammenwerfer. But right now, he's deciding not to do so.
We have a doctrine choice from Symbiosis. It's the one with 120mm mortar and the guards. Is that guard shock?
Guard motor coordination tactics with the 120mm mortar, the guards, the marked vehicle, crew repair, and T-3485s. If that's the one you mean. We don't
it makes
actually
a change
have...
from seeing hit the dirt.
Yeah, I really enjoy not seeing Hit the Dirt right now, because I've seen plenty of it. It's a very, very good ability, especially with the Conscript Assault package, the PPSH hits. They become extremely durable with veterancy as well, and just, adding on Hit the Dirt, they're like almost impossible to dislodge sometimes.
And Simbi really needs to get a wiggle on here. He's been cut off on the kind of north side of the map. There's no viable counter to that scout car out aside from the Guards infantry right now. And the Guards infantry are in the Marcus car.
Ooh, Marcus car up. That's going to be able to hunt that armored car, but at the same time the armored car can defend itself with that up gun. That 2cm auto cannon is going to be able to tango with it as well. So I think it's a fairly even battle right there. That M3 with the Guards against an armored car, the up gun scout car from Sepha. I'm not exactly sure who's going to win an engagement like that. It's all up to who hits what.
And really interesting here, the scout cars decided to leave the German scout car alone and go and hunt down these pioneers in the north.
Poor Pyos completely unable to defend themselves against light armor. They don't have any form of AT weaponry whatsoever, so they're just going to run away. We do actually now have half-track out. The 251 half-track is out for Sepha, and he's just waiting, I think, for the 120 munitions. He's very close to it. He's going to get it in just a few seconds.
And it's interesting that the VP kind of parity is not reflective of Sepha's map control. Sepha hasn't really applied the VP squeeze yet.
Now, I think Symbiosis knows that if this goes to a third deciding match, he needs to drain as many VPs he possibly can of Sepha in every single game. So if it's in this game or in the next game, it doesn't matter. He just needs to drain VPs all the time to get choice in the third game. We do have a sniper out now as well from Symbiosis, and he is plugging away at that MG in the church. But compared to Vico, the snipers don't actually have basically a 100% hit chance against buildings. Now I think it's 50%, so yeah, it's a gamble.
Yeah, tech-wise, Symbiosis is still hanging around in T1. He's just called in some fresh engineers though, so maybe they're going to build something else.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how much fuel Symbiosis is banking right now, but Sepha is up to 100, so he could potentially keep teching. Right now, he's not actually decided to do so. He has his forces on the field that he wants. I bet all of these high-tier players, they know what they want, what they play best with. And so far, Sepha has decided to go 2 Grens, 2 MGs, and 2 P-Grens. A little bit of an Alyash style of getting 2 of everything.
Yeah. And that Flammenworth is really doing a number on those conscripts there, chased them right off the point. And Sepha's map control remains very healthy.
Yeah, Sepha is in pure and utter map dominance right now, and with this Flammenwerfer rolling in, it's going to be hard for Symbiosis to counter that. He does have the Guards in the half-track. He needs to stay away though, however. These P-Grens might be upgrading with Shreks, he never knows, so you gotta pay attention to that. And you also can get fausted by Grens, so he's gotta keep that thing alive and hunt that Flammenwerfer down.
Yeah, it's important now because it's really his only rapid response AT unit on the field. There's Panzer Grenadiers making sure that the map stays largely in Sepha's hands. Sepha's map control has been outstanding throughout. Every time he's been decapped, he's been straight back down there and recapped it.
Yeah, he's everywhere basically, and he's also making great use of his MGs. He's not leaving them in just one place, he's actually capping with them down south now, just grabbing every territories he can, and, in case he gets attacked by something and he can't set up in time, he can always retreat as long as the HP on that MG is somewhat healthy. We do actually have a doctrine choice, or a commander choice now from Sepha, and I believe he's gone for one of the retail commanders, being the... Oh, let's see, which one is that actually? It's not the Spearhead one, but which one is this? Interesting. It's got a mortar half-track actually, and he also has Panzer Tactician, Recon, Tiger, and the frag bombs. Interesting.
Well, I think all that Axis armor is going to come in handy. I mean, Symbiosis is finding it really hard to push out. He's driven a little wedge up in the middle there. He's recapping that central munitions point, but there's Axis forces all around.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is actually Spearhead Doctrine. I just got confused because the mortar half-track was first and not the smoke. I thought the smoke was supposed to be the first, the Panzer Tactician ability to actually have smoke canisters on your vehicles and tanks, but I got a little bit confused. It is the retail commander Spearhead that Sepha has actually decided to go with, and these Guards now in this half-track, in the M3 scout car, not a half-track. Why do I keep calling it a half-track? What's wrong with me, Sarge?
Mate, we haven't got enough time on the shoutcast to explain that. But what we can explain is that that half-track had to back the fuck up because it did not want to get in touch with them guards with the AT gun. Nice flank on the MG there, forces the MG to retreat, and it goes down.
Good little victory from Symbiosis right now, and he's actually extending up in the north. He has decapped the northern fuel. I believe he might be going for the Axis cutoff on the right-hand side here as well. And also to mention, there are no fixed position in Company of Heroes 2 yet. It's gonna come. Someone told us that, a little bird told us it's gonna come. There's gonna be fixed positions, most likely. And we've actually forced players to play in these fixed positions. So in this shoutcast, in this livecast, you will always see Axis playing on the right side and Soviets on the left.
And nice combined arms again from Sepha up north. He's got his MG working, his Panzer Grenadiers pushing forward, chasing those Flamer Engineers out the house. Or trying to anyway.
Oh, Conscript Squad goes down in the south at the German cutoff, and at the same time we did have a Flamer crit on a Combat Engineer squad trying desperately to plant a mine, but they got shot out and destroyed. So 2 infantry squads down from Symbiosis in quick succession.
And that Flam and Rampage is in the south, but he needs to be able to get out of there before the Marcus car comes in. Marcus car's in hot pursuit.
Oh, but he's burning those poor guards inside the half-track, I believe. He lost 1 guy to that flame burst from that half-track. 251 half-track out from Sepha, upgraded with flamethrowers. And he's not upgrading with Shreks on any of his squads, so with tier 3 up right now, I think Symbiosis might be in trouble.
Well, it seems like he's managed to push back though. I mean, if you look at where he was about 10 minutes ago, he hardly had anything. He's managed to push north a little bit as well, but I think he needs to get a little bit of tech going too.
Yeah, he's got a tick.
Hard counters to these to this Flammenworth are needed. Oh, it's got a mortar up. Is that the
120?
That is the 120 mortar, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beast, as we saw in the previous games between Aimstrong and Marcus. The explosions that those shells deliver are not to be sniffed at. They destroy infantry and support weapons quite fast and very rapidly, so you gotta not get caught out by one of those shells unless you want to lose the crew on your support weapons.
And there's also a Maxim machine gun. No, that's an MG42. MG42 to support the mortar though, and that'll prevent any infantry from rushing in. Not too sure how is he going to stop that rampaging Flammenwerfer though. And
well, he still has the M3, it's still alive. I gotta give it to Symbiosis, just like we saw him yesterday in the quarterfinals between him and Barton on Moscow Outskirts summer version or the spring version. His M3 half-track survived almost the entire game until that last all-in attack he did at Barton's little stronghold that completely disintegrated everything. He lost the M3 in that engagement, but he killed so much with it.
And that 120 mortar just put a shot on a retreating squad. It was a near miss, but that was a big old hole it left.
Yeah, that thing does deliver some huge shells, and it does a lot of damage as well. We do have the snipers combined with the Marcus car moving up north here. And this Flammenwerfer is here, but it's not going to be able to go after that sniper squad willy-nilly. He's going to actually go and try for it, because I don't think he realized that the Marcus car is right there, flaming the sniper retreating. But right now, I think he's in trouble. Here comes the P4, however, to bail him out.
Yeah, I think that Marcus car's now in like an Axis armor sandwich. Not the place to be.
Brutal. That Flammenwerfer might go down if the PTRS rifles get enough time to reload and get 2 more shots in on him. He's gonna try for it. He's just not getting off the shots and he's forced to retreat.
And I don't think that 120 firing into the middle of the mix was helping them any at all.
That was not very helpful whatsoever. It actually damaged the Soviet infantry more than it damaged any of the vehicles out from Sepha right now. This P4 completely uncountered, and we do have the tier 4 building coming up in Symbiosis' base, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, Sepha has played really well throughout this so far. His map control has been dominating, but equally Symbiosis has been pushing him every step of the way. It just seems like Sepha's just been getting the kills, you know, polishing units off when he had to.
Yeah, check the VPs as well. Symbiosis still in the lead with 432, and Sepha's down to 368, so Symbiosis still has everything to fight for.
And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Sepha hasn't applied more VP pressure. His map control versus his VP control has not been entirely balanced.
He's going after the resources. Maybe he's playing for the long game. Maybe he has a tactic in mind, especially for the Axis side, that he needs to prolong the game, get that superior Axis armor on the field, and then he can beat the Soviets.
There's a second P4 coming on, and Simbi's going to need to get himself some kind of like a dedicated AT gun, or perhaps the... Oh, he's got the T4 up so he can an Su-85 when he gets the fuel.
Yeah, Su-85 is desperately needed, I must say. He needs
Probably
something
about 20
to combat
fuel
these two.
away from getting that right now.
20 fuel can be a long time in competitive heroes. What's his income for fuel?
Plus 23 right now, but he's losing that fuel
1
point in the
minute.
north, in the south.
Yeah, now he lost it, and now he's going to go down a little bit in income, so it's going to be a good minute or maybe even 2 before we can get that Su-85 on the field. So now the window of opportunity for these P4s are really opened up, completely wide open. He can roll in and decimate everything he wants to. The only thing he has to fear whatsoever is the PTRS rifles on the guards, and they're not doing much to medium armor.
Not at all. I mean, these P4s really need to be making the most of it right now when they've got this level of dominance.
Yeah, he's chasing off units in the north, trying to get the fuel over there. We do have another combat engineer that's going to grab a strategic point, but he might be stalked by these P-Grants, and this Flammenwerfer is still alive. Only 8 kills, but it's done a lot of damage.
Okay.
So
Is that Flammen going for the No, it's going to clear the MG.
He's going for everything. That thing is out to torching Soviet infantry all over the place, every chance he gets.
Yeah, those guards are getting the rough end of the stick as well.
Where is that Su-85 when you need it?
Everyone's running away right now.
Ooh, nice mine, and he was fairly lucky it was actually the P4 that hit that, because when a half-track hits one of the Soviet T-35 mines, it's actually TM-35 mine, he's actually in danger of getting the heavy engine damage, which basically translates over to destroy the engine in VCO, and you just get sludge slow when you hit one of those.
Yeah, and again, Sepha's grip on the map control just isn't slipping. He's just keeping Simbi pinned right back in that western area, and Simbi's going to need to get that 120mm working and really fight his way out now.
He still has the sniper, 13 kills right now, and his prime target are these P-Grants. 45 manpower down the drain, every single sniper shoots at the P-Grants, and yeah, you gotta pay attention. You don't want to lose P-Grants too often, because it becomes extremely expensive very quickly, actually.
The Su-85 is on the way now.
Finally.
My feeling is that 2 P4s are just going to be able to roll over him pretty easily.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It might be extremely problematic if he can cover it up with mines, etc., so it doesn't get flanked by one of the P4s while it's trying to take out the second one, or, you know, the Flammenwerfer comes in and blocks. You don't see it that often in many matches, but a lot of the high-tier players use smaller vehicles, lighter, faster vehicles to block tanks to get at it with his tank destroyers.
MG42 setting up to try and protect the 120mm mortar there.
Conscript down for Symbiosis.
And that's really going to sting.
I just rubbed myself in the eyes, and we're just like, no, Symbiosis, what's happening?
Yeah, don't punch yourself in the eye, Fatal. It's not good for casting.
No, I rubbed my eyes. I was making sure that I actually saw him lose Conscript, because Symbiosis is basically the king of persistency. He just keeps everything alive so brilliantly in VCO, and right now he must be feeling the pressure. And the pressure is on, because the VPs have actually been turned against him now, with the Grants capping the VP in the south. Here comes the P4 against that double female sniper squad, takes out the scout, sniper running back to base with her rifles in the hands.
Yeah, that P4 is going to be a real nuisance to itself. The Su-85 needs to get lined up and start putting in work soonish.
Bit hard on this map. There's quite a lot of shot blockers, buildings, hedges, and small forested areas, so it's not easy to get lined up to pick away at the health of one of the P4s or one of the vehicles out from the Axis players. So you gotta do a nice bait, then maybe button with guards, you know, and just plug him.
It's interesting with the
Grenade tennis in the north. What were you saying, Sarge?
The positioning of the Su-85, I think he thinks that the P4s are going to rush the mortar, and that's why he's just lurking back there, backstopping, waiting for that to happen.
And the main difference between mostly average players and these top tier players is that they almost never just go in unsupported. Sometimes they gotta do it because they gotta finish something off, etc. but they're very, very conservative. They only do it when they know that, you know, it's basically a free kill. Then they'll do it. But otherwise, you know, they always suspect that their opponent's gonna have some form of a counter to your tanks, for example. Or if you do some form of an infantry surge rush, if you attack with all of your infantry, they always think that, you know, there's gonna be an MG in the back somewhere. I gotta stay away.
And the incredible line of sight being used by the Su-85 there to get one shot on the P4, but the P4 pulls right back. Symbi's fuel income is so low. He's on 37 fuel with plus 13 income. That means he's not getting any more armor soon. He has to keep this Su-85 alive.
It's just one Su-85 against two P4s right now, and Sepha is actually starting to float a bit of manpower. He can do whatever he wants to do, and he has decided to keep on teching. He feels that his grip on this match is fairly good. All he needs now is something from tier 4, maybe a Panther, for example, to tango with this Su-85 plus two P4s, and the Flammenwerfer could potentially be used as a blocking tool. That's gonna just spell disaster for Symbiosis. It's GG right then if a Panther hits the field, I'd say.
It's an interesting situation as well. With this blizzard about to come in, the P4s have a potential to maybe try and creep up on their Su-85. That long sight advantage is dissipated in the bad weather.
Yeah, and he does see one of the P4 coming in from the middle against his engineers, combat engineers with a flamethrower, so he instantly retreats his sniper when he sees that. He does not want to get crushed by a tank or caught out on retreat. Here comes the SU now. The blizzard is going to set in 5 seconds, and nice use of the Panzer Tactician ability there, popping smoke on his P4 to get out of range and out of line of sight from that Su-85.
Yeah, and it's kind of going to go a little bit stalemate now, it feels like, with the blizzard coming in. I don't think either player's going to want to risk sneaking up and going like face first into a tank you weren't expecting. But still, Symbi needs to just push out of his base. He's also got to get a firm grip on the VPs. He's now dipped below Sepha.
Yeah, he's dipped below finally, and it's gonna be difficult for Symbiosis right now with only one SU on the field. He needs something more, because right now, as I suspected, Sepha is constructing, building, queued up in tier 4. Panther's going to hit the field, and when it does that, it's going to be almost completely unrivaled.
And I think Symbi's realised it, and he's back-teching to T2 for AT guns.
Well, he's still got the manpower income, so he can keep producing units, not the units that cost him fuel, because he doesn't have a single fuel point on the field in his possession. So he needs something as AT, so the best choice, the only real choice, is to get AT guns.
Yeah, and I mean, well-covered AT guns can be a real hard nut to crack. Oh dear, what's this coming on the field right now on the Axis side?
Panther on the field from Sepha from tier 4, as I mentioned before, so now is the time, maybe during the blizzard, maybe after the blizzard, to go in against this Su-85, claim that scalp and finish this game.
Because once the Su-85 is down, it's just going to be AT guns. And Sepha's got plenty supporting infantry.
Yeah, not only infantry, he's got so many armored vehicles right now. You know, Flammenwerfer, 2 P4s and a Panther, versus 1, maybe 2 AT guns. It's not going to be enough.
No, and that 120 mortar as well has been providing him with a little bit of attritional headache, as has the sniper team. But 21 kills on that sniper team now, not bad.
Not bad at all. A little bit more than halfway to vet 3, and that mortar actually vet 1 as well. I believe it gives him the ability to fire 1 shell that's really accurate. Maybe you can check it out on the mortar and just check the ability in the bottom right on the UI.
Let's have a look. Yeah, precision strike, that's now
Precision strike, yeah. That's for vet 1. But here is the P4s fully repaired, both of them. One of them had a damage engine prior to a TM35 mine. And here comes the sniper, he's gonna run right into a P4. Not a good idea at all. Here comes the Su-85, he's trying to back out of this. He was trying to polish off the Flammenwerfer, but nice use of the smoke canisters that his commander has supplied him. And here comes the Panther now rolling into the center as well. There's the P4, the second P4, the first one gets vet 1, is actually unlocked Blitzkrieg use. He could go around this Su-85. Where are the AT guns?
I've got no idea. I think they're still under construction. There's one halfway built, but it's too little too late. The Su-85's down.
SU is toast, and Symbiosis throws in the towel.
And that was some intense Axis play from Sepha there. He He had good map control, and he just kept on it throughout the entire game.
Yeah, he had very good pressure in the initial stages of the game, and the entire game really is such a good pressure on Symbiosis. He didn't get any breathing room whatsoever. Kind of like Aimstrong didn't really give Marcus much of a breathing room either, so top tier players, Sepha and Aimstrong, Symbiosis and Marcus, they can really put on their pressure on their opponents, even if their opponents are very high skilled players as well. So stay tuned, guys. During this little small break, Tommy's going to come back later in the next game between Symbiosis and Sepha, combined with Sarge again. And so during the break, just scroll on down and check out the little info section on TFN. We're all about promoting the community, so check out all the streamers and all of the other event managers and the Company of Heroes fan sites. We need to make this grow. 1,500 viewers right now is super awesome. But, you know, if you got to put a nice dent in the esports community, you need even more. So just keep on growing. Just keep on growing the Company of Heroes community. Join everything down in the community section. It's really, really helpful. So stay tuned, guys.